The sun was setting on Outpost Sigma 7, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. Dr. Taewon Park sat alone in the medical tent, his shoulders slumped with exhaustion. 3 days had passed since the meteor shower hit their small colony, and he hadn't slept more than 4 hours total. Water. I need water, he mumbled to himself, reaching for his canteen. The tent was quiet now. Most of the injured colonists had been treated and sent home. Only the most serious cases remained in the recovery section behind a divider. Taewon looked at his watch, almost midnight by Earth time. His eyes burned from lack of sleep. He stood up and stretched his back, hearing several pops along his spine. At 35, he was the only doctor in this new human settlement on planet Kepler 22b. The colony was small, just 50 people trying to build a new life on this distant world. One more round of checks, then maybe I can sleep, he told himself. Picking up his medical tablet, that's when he heard it, a strange sound from outside the tent. Not human. Not like any animal they had documented on this planet so far. It was high-pitched, almost like crying. Taewon froze, listening. The sound came again, closer this time. Something was approaching the tent. Hello? He called out, reaching slowly for the emergency alarm button near his desk. The tent flap moved. Taewon held his breath. Then something small pushed through the opening and stumbled inside. Taewon blinked, sure that his tired mind was playing tricks on him. The creature standing at the entrance of his tent looked like a small dragon. It had scales that shimmered between blue and purple, tiny wings too small for flight, and a long tail that dragged on the ground. It was about the size of a house cat, but most surprising were its eyes. Large, intelligent, and wet with what looked like tears. The creature was crying. What in the world? Taewon whispered, taking a careful step forward. The little dragon flinched but didn't run away. Instead, it made that sound again, a series of chirps and trills that somehow conveyed distress. Then Taewon noticed it was limping. Its right hind leg was bleeding, leaving small drops of silvery fluid on the tent floor. Medical instinct took over. Taewon knelt down slowly, trying not to scare the creature. It's okay, he said softly. I won't hurt you. The dragon tilted its head as if trying to understand his words. Then it took a hesitant step toward him, chirping again. You're hurt, Taewon said. Let me help you. To his amazement, the creature seemed to understand. It limped closer, stopping just in front of him. Up close, Taewon could see the wound clearly. A deep cut on its leg, possibly from sharp rocks or debris from the meteor shower. Slowly, Taewon reached out his hand. The dragon sniffed it, then made a soft purring sound. Taking this as permission, Taewon gently picked up the creature. It was surprisingly warm, much warmer than a human, and light, maybe 2 or 3 kilograms. Let's get you fixed up, he said, carrying it to his examination table. The dragon stayed still as Taewon cleaned the wound. It watched him with those intelligent eyes, occasionally making soft chirping sounds. When Taewon applied antiseptic, it hissed in pain but didn't try to bite or escape. Sorry, little one, Taewon said. This will help, I promise. As he worked, Taewon's mind raced. The colony had been on this planet for 6 months, and they had documented many life forms, plants, insects, and some small animals. But nothing like this. Nothing that showed such clear signs of intelligence. What are you? He wondered aloud. And why did you come to me? The dragon chirped as if trying to answer. After bandaging the leg, Taewon faced a new problem. What to do with his unusual patient? Protocol said he should report this to colony administration immediately. Any new species, especially one showing signs of intelligence, needed to be documented and studied. But something held him back. The creature had come to him for help. It had trusted him. Putting it in a cage for study felt wrong. You need a safe place to rest, he told the dragon, who was now licking its bandaged leg, and I need to figure out what you are. Taewon made a quick decision. He prepared a small box with soft cloths, placed it on the floor near his desk, and gently set the dragon inside. You can stay here tonight, he said. Tomorrow we'll figure things out. The dragon settled into the makeshift bed, curling its tail around its body. It looked up at Taewon and made a new sound, softer, almost like a thank you. Taewon smiled for the first time in days. You're welcome. He sat at his desk and started making notes about his strange visitor. Physical characteristics, behavior, the wound and treatment. He took several pictures with his tablet. If he was going to report this discovery, he wanted all the facts first. An hour later, Taiwan was still working when he heard footsteps approaching the tent. He quickly covered the box with a light cloth just as the tent flap opened. "Dr. Park, are you still awake?" It was Han Sol, the night security officer. "Just finishing some reports," Taiwan said, trying to sound normal. "You should get some sleep," Han Sol said. "You've been working non-stop since the meteor shower." "I will soon," Taiwan promised. After Han Sol left, Taiwan uncovered the box. The dragon was asleep, its small chest rising and falling with each breath. In sleep it looked even more vulnerable. "What am I going to do with you?" Taiwan whispered. He decided to take the dragon to his private quarters. It would be safer there, away from curious eyes. Carefully, he picked up the box and slipped out of the medical tent. The colony was quiet at night. Most buildings were dark, with only security lights marking the paths. Taiwan hurried to his small prefab house at the edge of the settlement. Once inside, he set the box on his desk and watched the sleeping dragon. Questions filled his tired mind. Where had it come from? Were there more like it? How intelligent was it? And most importantly, why had it sought human help? Taiwan yawned. Sleep was pulling at him strongly now. He decided to rest for a few hours and tackle these questions in the morning. He set up a water dish near the box and made sure the dragon couldn't escape or hurt itself. "Good night, little one," he said, turning off the lights. Taiwan woke to strange sounds. For a moment he was confused, thinking he was back in the medical tent with a patient. Then he remembered, the dragon. He sat up quickly. Sunlight streamed through his window. The dragon was awake, sitting on his desk beside the box, making those chirping sounds again. When it saw Taiwan was awake, it became more excited, the sounds changing in pitch and pattern. "Good morning to you too," Taiwan said, getting up. The dragon watched him intently. Its leg looked better already. The bandage was still in place, but the dragon was putting weight on it now. Taiwan checked the time. He had slept for 6 hours, the longest stretch since the meteor shower. He had to get back to the medical tent soon, but first, he needed to decide what to do about his secret guest. The dragon chirped again, then made a series of sounds that seemed almost like speech. Taiwan listened carefully. There was a pattern to the sounds, not random noise. "Are you trying to talk to me?" he asked. The dragon bobbed its head up and down, almost like a nod. Taiwan's heart raced. This wasn't just an intelligent animal. This creature was trying to communicate. He grabbed his tablet and opened the recording app. "Can you do that again?" he asked, pointing to the dragon. The creature made the same series of sounds. Taiwan recorded it, then played it back. The dragon perked up at hearing its own voice from the tablet. "This is amazing," Taiwan whispered. "You're trying to talk to me." He had to tell someone about this discovery. But who? The colony administrator would want to capture the dragon for study. The science team would treat it like a specimen. The dragon chirped again, then pointed its snout toward Taiwan's water bottle. "You're thirsty?" Taiwan asked. He poured some water into a bowl. The dragon drank eagerly, then looked up at him and made what sounded like a grateful chirp. In that moment, Taiwan made his decision. He would keep the dragon's secret for now, just until he could understand it better. Until he could protect it. "I'm going to help you," he told the dragon. "And maybe you can help me understand your world too." The dragon chirped softly, its eyes fixed on Taiwan's face. Somehow he felt it understood. 5 days had passed since the little dragon came into Taiwan's life. He named it Hak, after his childhood pet turtle, though he wasn't sure if the creature was male or female. Keeping Hak's secret was becoming harder each day. Taiwan sat at his desk in his small home, watching Hak explore the room. The dragon moved much better now, its leg almost fully healed. This amazed Taiwan. No Earth animal could heal so quickly. "Your biology is fascinating," he told Hak, who looked up at the sound of his voice. Taiwan had been recording Hak's sounds every day. He played them on his tablet, trying to find patterns. There were definitely different chirps for different things. Hak made one sound when hungry, another when wanting water, and a third when happy. "If only I could understand you better," Taiwan said. Hak climbed onto the desk and looked at the tablet. The dragon seemed interested in the device, especially when it played back sounds. Taiwan had an idea. He opened a simple picture program on his tablet and drew a basic image of water. Then he pointed to it and said, "Water." Hak looked at the picture, then at Taiwan. "Water," Taewon repeated, then made the chirping sound he had heard Hawk use when thirsty. Hawk's eyes widened. The dragon made the same chirp, then looked at the water bottle on the desk. Yes, Taewon said excitedly. That's right. He tried again with food, drawing a simple picture of the protein bars he had been feeding Hawk. Food, he said, then attempted to make the sound Hawk used when hungry. Hawk chirped excitedly, making the hunger sound and looking at where Taewon kept the food. This is amazing, Taewon whispered. You understand the concept of language. Over the next few hours, Taewon created more simple pictures. Sleep, pain, happy, sad. Each time he said the word and tried to make Hawk sound for it. Sometimes he got it wrong, and Hawk would make the correct sound until Taewon could repeat it properly. By evening, Taewon had a small dictionary of dragon sounds. He was so focused on his work that he almost missed his shift at the medical tent. I have to go, he told Hawk, gathering his things. Stay here and be quiet. Hawk made a sad chirp but settled into the nest of blankets Taewon had made. At the medical tent, Taewon checked on his patients while his mind stayed with Hawk. He was so distracted that he didn't notice Colony Administrator Ji-Young Kim watching him from the tent entrance. Dr. Park, she said, making him jump. You seem tired. Just busy, Taewon said quickly. Ji-Young stepped closer. The security team reported strange noises coming from your quarters last night. Like an animal. Taewon's heart raced. Probably just my old data recorder. It makes weird sounds when it's running. Ji-Young didn't look convinced. We need to be careful about unknown life forms, Doctor. The safety protocols exist for a reason. Of course, Taewon agreed. I follow all protocols. After Ji-Young left, Taewon finished his work as quickly as possible. He needed to get back to Hawk. If security was watching his home, they might discover his secret. When Taewon returned home, he found Hawk sitting on his bed, looking worried. It's okay, he told the dragon, but we need to be more careful. That night, Taewon made a decision. He couldn't keep Hawk's secret forever, but he needed more time to understand the dragon. He needed help from someone he could trust. The next morning, Taewon visited the science lab where his friend Do-hyun Lee worked as a biologist. I need your help with something, Taewon said quietly, but you have to promise to keep it secret for now. Do-hyun looked curious. What kind of secret? I found something. Someone, a new species. But it's not just an animal. It's intelligent, Do-hyun's eyes widened. Show me. That evening, Do-hyun came to Taewon's quarters. When he saw Hawk, he gasped. It looks like a dragon, he whispered. His name is Hawk, Taewon said, and he understands language. Taewon showed Do-hyun the sound recordings and the simple picture dictionary he had made. Hawk watched them curiously, occasionally making chirps that Taewon now recognized as questions. This is incredible, Do-hyun said, but why keep it secret? This is the biggest discovery since we arrived on this planet. I'm afraid they'll treat Hawk like a specimen, not a thinking being, Taewon explained. I want to understand him better first, to protect him. Do-hyun nodded slowly. I understand, but we'll need better tools than just your tablet. The next day, Do-hyun brought a small device to Taewon's quarters. It's a neural language processor, he explained. We use it to analyze complex biological signals. I think we can adapt it to process Hawk's sounds. They connected the device to Taewon's tablet and loaded all the sound recordings. The program began analyzing the patterns, comparing them to known language structures. This will take time, Do-hyun said, but it might help us understand Hawk better. Over the next few days, Taewon and Do-hyun worked together, adding more sounds to the database. Hawk seemed to enjoy the process, making new sounds and watching their reactions. 1 week after Do-hyun joined the project, the neural processor had its first breakthrough. Taewon was showing Hawk a picture of the colony when the dragon made a series of complex chirps. The tablet displayed, "Not home." Different place. Did you see that? Taewon gasped. The processor translated Hawk's sounds. Do-hyun stared at the screen. Ask him something else. Taewon pointed to Hawk. Where is your home? Hawk chirped and the tablet displayed, mountains. High place, family. Family? Taewon repeated. You have a family? Mother, father, others like me. Taewon and Do-hyun looked at each other in amazement. There are more dragons out there, Do-hyun whispered. A whole species we never knew about. Hawk, Taewon said carefully. Why did you come to me? To humans? Hawk made a long series of chirps. The tablet struggled to translate, showing only hurt, scared, lost, humans make things, help. I think he saw our technology, Do-hyun suggested. He knew we could help him when he was injured. But how did he know that? Taewon wondered. Have his people been watching us? Before Hawk could answer, there was a loud knock at the door. Taewon and Do-hyun froze. Dr. Park? This is Security Officer Min-ji. Please open the door. Taewon quickly picked up Hawk and placed him in the bathroom. Stay quiet, he whispered. He opened the door to find Min-ji and Administrator Ji-young standing there. We need to inspect your quarters, Doctor, Ji-young said firmly. We've detected unusual energy signatures coming from here. It's just some medical equipment I'm testing, Taewon said, trying to stay calm. Then you won't mind if we take a look, Ji-young replied, stepping inside. Do-hyun moved to block the tablet, but Min-ji noticed it on the desk, still connected to the neural processor. What's this device? She asked. A research project, Do-hyun explained. We're studying local animal sounds. Ji-young looked suspicious. She walked around the small room, her eyes scanning everything. When she reached the bathroom door, she paused. Is someone in there? No, Taewon said too quickly. Just my dirty laundry. Ji-young reached for the door handle. Taewon held his breath. Suddenly, a loud alarm blared throughout the colony. Min-ji's radio crackled to life. Security alert. Unknown creatures spotted at the north perimeter. Ji-young turned away from the bathroom. We'll continue this later, Doctor. Report to the medical tent immediately. After they left, Taewon rushed to the bathroom. Hawk was hiding in the shower, looking scared. It's okay, Taewon said, picking him up. But what was that alarm about? Hawk chirped urgently. The tablet translated, family. Looking for me. Taewon and Do-hyun looked at each other in shock. Your family is here? Taewon asked. At the colony. Find me, worried, long time gone. We need to get to them before security does, Do-hyun said. Or this could go very badly. Taewon nodded, his mind racing. Hawk, can you talk to your family? Tell them we want to help. Hawk made a sound they hadn't heard before. The tablet showed. Yes, need go outside. Call them. This is it, Taewon said to Do-hyun. No more secrets. It's time to introduce humans to dragons. Do-hyun looked nervous but nodded. Let's hope both species are ready for this meeting. Taewon picked up Hawk and the tablet. Let's go make history. The colony was in chaos. People ran in all directions as alarms blared. Security officers with stun guns moved toward the north fence where the unknown creatures had been spotted. Taewon, Do-hyun, and Hawk hurried through back paths to avoid being seen. Taewon carried Hawk inside his medical bag with just the dragon's head peeking out. We need to reach them before anyone gets hurt, Taewon said, breathing hard as they ran. Do-hyun checked his tablet map. There's a gap in the security cameras near the storage units. We can slip out there. They reached the storage area and found the small opening in the fence. Through it, they could see the forest that surrounded the colony. Somewhere in those trees, Hawk's family was searching for him. Hawk, Taewon whispered, taking the dragon out of the bag. Can you call your family from here? Hawk nodded, a human gesture he had learned from watching Taewon. The dragon took a deep breath and made a loud musical call that echoed through the trees. It was unlike any sound they had heard him make before, beautiful and haunting. They waited, hearts pounding. Then from the forest came an answering call, similar but deeper. They heard him, Do-hyun whispered excitedly. Hawk called again, and this time multiple voices answered. The dragon looked up at Taewon, chirping rapidly. The translation tablet showed, they come. Scared of humans. Need show safe. How do we show them we're safe? Taewon asked. Put me down. I go first. Taewon hesitated. What if they take you away? What if we never see you again? Hawk made a soft chirp. I come back, promise. Slowly, Taewon set Hawk on the ground. The little dragon looked back at them once, then slipped through the fence opening and into the forest. I hope we're doing the right thing, Do-hyun said. Me too, Taewon replied. They waited in tense silence. 5 minutes passed. 10. In the distance, they could hear the security team searching the perimeter. They're getting closer, Do-hyun warned. If they find us here. Suddenly, the bushes at the forest edge moved. Taewon held his breath as Hawk emerged from the trees. But he wasn't alone. Behind him came a larger dragon about the size of a large dog. Its scales were deeper blue than Huck's, and its wings were fully developed. It moved cautiously, watching the humans with intelligent, wary eyes. That must be one of his parents, Taiwan whispered. Huck chirped happily, running back and forth between the larger dragon and the humans. He seemed to be explaining something, making gestures with his small claws. The adult dragon listened, then slowly approached the fence. It stopped a few meters away, studying Taiwan and Do-hyun carefully. "Hello?" Taiwan said softly. "We've been taking care of Huck." The adult dragon made a series of complex sounds. Taiwan held up the translation tablet, hoping it would work. The screen displayed, "You named my child?" Taiwan swallowed hard. "Yes, I'm sorry if that was wrong. We didn't know his real name. His name is song, not words. Cannot say in your sounds. Is it okay if we call him Huck?" Taiwan asked. The dragon seemed to consider this, then made another sound. "Yes, he likes this name now." "You healed him?" "Yes," Taiwan said, showing his medical bag. "He was hurt. I'm a doctor, a healer." The adult dragon moved closer, now just on the other side of the fence. Its eyes fixed on Taiwan's face. "Why help?" "Not your kind." "Because he needed help," Taiwan said simply. "That's what doctors do." The dragon made a sound that the tablet couldn't translate, but it seemed thoughtful. Suddenly, they heard voices approaching. The security team was getting closer. "We need to go," Do-hyun said urgently. "They'll be here any minute." The adult dragon tensed, ready to flee. Huck chirped frantically, looking between his parent and the humans. Taiwan made a quick decision. "We need to introduce you to our people properly, not like this. Can you meet us tomorrow, at the big rock by the river?" The dragon considered, then nodded. Another human gesture it must have learned from watching Huck. "Tomorrow. Sun high, big rock." "Yes," Taiwan agreed. "And please don't be afraid if you see humans before then. We'll tell them you're friendly." The adult dragon made a sound that the tablet translated as agreement. Then it gently picked up Huck in its mouth like a cat carrying a kitten and disappeared into the forest. Taiwan felt a strange emptiness watching Huck go. "I hope we see him again." "We will," Do-hyun said. "But now we need to explain all this to Administrator Ji-young." They turned to find Ji-young standing behind them, arms crossed and face stern. "Yes," she said coldly. "You certainly do need to explain." Back at the colony's main building, Taiwan and Do-hyun sat across from Ji-young and Security Chief Han-sol. They had told their story from the beginning, finding Huck, learning to communicate, and finally meeting the adult dragon. "So you've been hiding an alien life form in your quarters for almost 2 weeks, Ji-young said, her voice tight with anger, "breaking at least 6 colony safety protocols." "Yes," Taiwan admitted. "But Huck wasn't dangerous. He was a child who needed help. And now there are more of these dragons out there," Han-sol said, "possibly watching our colony." "They're intelligent," Do-hyun argued. "They can communicate. This could be the most important first contact in human history." Ji-young sighed, rubbing her temples. "I understand why you did it, Doctor. But your actions put everyone at risk." "I know," Taiwan said, "and I'm sorry for that. But now we have a chance to meet them properly. They've agreed to talk tomorrow." "And you trust them?" Han-sol asked skeptically. "Yes," Taiwan said without hesitation. "I trust Huck and he trusts his family." Ji-young was quiet for a long moment, thinking. Finally, she nodded. "We'll meet them. A small group, you two, me, and 2 security officers. But they stay unarmed." "Thank you," Taiwan said, relieved. "Don't thank me yet," Ji-young warned. "If this goes wrong, you'll both be on the first transport back to Earth." The next morning, Taiwan could hardly eat breakfast. His stomach was tight with excitement and worry. What if the dragons didn't come? What if there was a misunderstanding? Do-hyun met him outside his quarters, looking equally nervous. "Did you sleep?" Do-hyun asked. "Barely," Taiwan admitted. "You?" "Not at all. I kept thinking about what this means for science, for humanity." They joined Ji-young and 2 security officers at the colony gate. Everyone looked tense. "Remember," Ji-young told the security officers, "no weapons. We're here to talk, not threaten." They walked in silence to the big rock by the river, about a kilometer from the colony. It was a beautiful spot with clear water flowing over smooth stones and tall trees providing shade. "Now we wait," Taiwan said, checking his watch. The sun was almost at its highest point. 10 minutes passed. Then 20. Ji Young was starting to look impatient. Maybe they changed their minds, one of the security officers suggested. They'll come, Taewon insisted. They promised. Just as he said this, they heard a rustling in the trees across the river. Everyone tensed as shapes moved in the shadows. First came the adult dragon they had met yesterday. It stepped into the sunlight, wings slightly spread, watching them carefully. Then, to everyone's amazement, more dragons appeared. 2 more adults and 3 smaller ones, including Hawk. They formed a line at the river's edge, their scales shimmering in the sunlight. There are 6 of them, Ji Young whispered, her anger forgotten in the wonder of the moment. Hawk spotted Taewon and chirped happily. The little dragon splashed across the shallow river and ran to him, climbing up his leg to perch on his shoulder. "Hello, Hawk," Taewon said, smiling. "I missed you too." The largest dragon, with deep green scales, stepped into the river. It made a series of musical sounds that Taewon's tablet translated. "I am leader. You helped our young one. We wish to know your kind." Ji Young stepped forward, her face showing both fear and determination. "I am Ji Young Kim, leader of this human colony. We come in peace and friendship." The green dragon nodded, then made another series of sounds. "Long we watch humans. First time we meet. Important day for both kinds. They've been watching us," Ji Young said to Taewon. "All this time. They were probably scared," Taewon suggested. "Until Hak showed them we could be trusted." The green dragon continued. "Young one says you heal. Make better. We have much to learn from each other." Ji Young smiled for the first time that day. "Yes," she agreed. "I think we do." As the humans and dragons began their first official conversation, Taewon felt Hak nuzzle against his cheek. The little dragon chirped softly. The tablet translated, "Told you." "Come back, family." Taewon smiled. "Yes, Hak, family." 1 month had passed since the first official meeting between humans and dragons. The colony had changed in many ways. A new building now stood near the edge of the settlement, a round structure with wide doors and high ceilings, designed for dragons to enter comfortably. They called it the meeting house. Taewon sat inside this building, surrounded by tablets and medical equipment. Across from him, on a large cushioned platform, lay an adult female dragon named Sora. At least that was the human name they gave her. Her real name, like all dragon names, was a complex melody that human throats couldn't produce. "Does this hurt?" Taewon asked, gently pressing on Sora's wing joint. Sora made a negative chirp. The translation device, now much improved, displayed, "No pain, just stiff after long flight." "Try stretching it this way," Taewon suggested, demonstrating the motion with his arm. Sora followed his instructions, extending her wing slowly. A look of relief crossed her dragon features. "Better." "Thank you, healer Taewon." "You're welcome," Taewon said with a smile. "And thank you for letting me learn about dragon biology." This was Taewon's new job, dragon medical liaison. He studied dragon health and shared human medical knowledge with them. The dragons, in turn, taught humans about the planet's plants and animals. Hawk bounded into the room, much bigger now than when Taewon first found him. His wings had grown and he could fly short distances. Behind him came Do-hyun, carrying research equipment. "Taewon." "Do-hyun, look what I can do," Hawk chirped excitedly. The young dragon took a running start, then leaped into the air. His wings beat strongly as he circled the high ceiling of the meeting house before landing somewhat clumsily. "Very impressive," Taewon said, clapping. "Your flying is getting much better." Hawk puffed up his chest proudly. "Soon fly to mountains with family, but come back to visit." Taewon felt a pang at these words. He knew this day would come, when Hawk would return to live with his own kind in their mountain home. The dragons had explained that young ones needed to learn dragon ways in their natural habitat. But Hawk had promised to visit the colony often. "We'll miss you when you go," Taewon said. "Not go yet," Hawk assured him. "Still much to learn from humans." Do-hyun set up his equipment on a nearby table. "I've been analyzing the plant samples the dragons showed us," he told Taewon. 3 of them have amazing medicinal properties. One might even help with radiation sickness. This was another benefit of their new friendship. The dragons knew every plant and animal on the planet. They showed humans which were safe to eat, which could heal, and which were dangerous. Sora rose from her cushion and stretched her wings fully. They spanned nearly 4 meters. "Time for me to return to nest. Young ones waiting." Thank you for your help today, Taewon said. The information about dragon heart rates will improve our translation of your emotional states. Sora nodded, then turned to Hawk. Coming, young one? Stay longer. Help with plant study, Hawk replied. Sora made a sound of approval, then left through the wide doors. Outside, she spread her wings and took off. A beautiful sight against the blue sky. She flies so gracefully, Do-hyun said, watching through the window. Adult dragons are amazing flyers, Taewon agreed. They can travel hundreds of kilometers in a day. Hawk chirped to get their attention, then pointed to Do-hyun's plant samples. This one good for stomach pain. This one bad, makes itchy. Do-hyun quickly made notes. Thank you, Hawk. This will save us months of testing. As they worked, Ji-young entered the meeting house. She looked tired but pleased. How are things going here? She asked. Very well, Taewon replied. Sora just left, but she gave us valuable data on dragon physiology. Ji-young nodded. Good. The Earth Council is very interested in our progress. They're sending a scientific delegation next month. Taewon frowned slightly. Are you sure that's wise? Our relationship with the dragons is still new. We don't have much choice, Ji-young said. News of intelligent dragon-like aliens has spread throughout Earth. Everyone wants to know more. More humans coming? Hawk asked, looking concerned. Yes, but only a few, Ji-young assured him. Scientists who want to learn, like Taewon and Do-hyun. Hawk seemed to accept this. But Taewon noticed his wings drooping slightly, a sign of worry in dragons. After Ji-young left, Taewon knelt beside Hawk. What's wrong? You can tell me. Hawk was quiet for a moment, then chirped softly. Elder dragons worry. Say too many humans might take over land, change planet. Taewon and Do-hyun exchanged concerned looks. They're afraid we'll expand the colony. Do-hyun asked, some dragons afraid. Not all. My family trusts humans. Others not sure. Taewon sighed. This was a common problem in human history. Fear of the other, worry about territory and resources. He had hoped things would be different here. We should talk to Ji-young about this, he said. The dragons need to know we respect their land. Good, Hawk chirped. Talk important. Prevent misunderstanding. Later that day, Taewon and Do-hyun met with Ji-young in her office. They explained Hawk's concerns about the dragon elders. This is serious, Ji-young said after listening. The last thing we want is conflict with the dragons. We need to set clear boundaries, Taewon suggested. Show them we only plan to use the land we already have. And maybe create a formal agreement, Do-hyun added. A treaty between humans and dragons. Ji-young nodded slowly. A treaty. Yes, that could work. But how do we negotiate with a species so different from our own? We use what we've learned, Taewon said. Dragons value family, knowledge, and harmony with nature. We start there. The next day, Ji-young called a meeting with the colony's leadership council. They discussed the idea of a treaty with the dragons and how to approach it. We should invite the dragon elders here, one council member suggested. Show them our technology, our medicine. No, Taewon said firmly. We should go to them. Show respect by meeting in their territory. After much debate, they agreed. A small group would travel to the Dragon Mountain home, a place no human had yet visited. When Taewon told Hawk about this plan, the young dragon was excited. I show you way. Many beautiful things in Mountain Home. Will the elders welcome us? Taewon asked, if go with respect. Bring gifts of knowledge, not things. What kind of knowledge would they value? Do-hyun wondered. Hawk thought for a moment, then chirped. Stories. Dragons love stories. History of humans. Where you come from. Why you travel stars. Taewon smiled. We can do that. 3 days later, a small group prepared for the journey to the Dragon Mountains. Taewon, Do-hyun, Ji-young, and 2 others would go. Hawk would guide them. The morning of their departure, Taewon packed medical supplies just in case. He also brought a special tablet loaded with human history, art, music, and stories, gifts of knowledge for the dragons. As they left the colony, many people came to wish them well. This journey could change everything for the future of human-dragon relations. They walked for hours, following Hawk through forests and across streams. The young dragon flew ahead sometimes, then circled back to make sure they were on the right path. By afternoon, they reached the foothills of the mountains. The air grew cooler and the plants changed. Taewon saw species he had never encountered before. The biodiversity here is amazing, Do-hyun said, taking samples when Hak indicated it was safe. Many plants here heal, Hak explained. Dragons collect, use when sick. As they climbed higher, Taewon noticed large caves in the mountainside. Some had elaborate markings around the entrances. Are those dragon homes? He asked. Yes, family groups live in caves. Marks tell which family. Near sunset, they reached a wide plateau halfway up the mountain. There, waiting for them, were at least 20 dragons of various sizes and colors. At the center stood the largest dragon they had ever seen, emerald green with silver markings along its wings. Great Elder, Hak chirped respectfully. I bring human friends. The Great Elder studied the humans with ancient eyes. Then it made a series of musical sounds that the translator rendered as, Welcome to Dragon Home. You are first humans to see this place. Show us why we should trust your kind. Taewon stepped forward, feeling the weight of this moment. Everything depended on what happened here. We come with respect and friendship, he said, bowing slightly, and with stories to share. The Great Elder's eyes showed interest. Stories are valuable. Begin, and we will listen. As the sun set behind the mountains, humans and dragons gathered in a circle. Taewon activated his tablet and began to tell the story of Earth, of humanity's journey to the stars, and of their hopes for a peaceful future on this new world. The dragons listened silently, their eyes reflecting the starlight. A new chapter was beginning for both species. The mountain air was cool as dawn broke over the dragon settlement. Taewon stood at the entrance of the guest cave where the humans had spent the night. The view took his breath away. Misty valleys below, peaks rising above, and dragons soaring in the morning light. 3 days had passed since they arrived. 3 days of sharing stories, knowledge, and building trust. The Great Elder, whom they now called Sungmin, a human name the dragon accepted for simplicity, had listened carefully to everything the humans shared. Beautiful, isn't it? Ji-young said, joining Taewon at the cave entrance. More than I imagined, Taewon replied. I understand now why the dragons love these mountains. Today was important. After many talks, they would finally discuss the treaty between humans and dragons. Both sides had concerns to address. Hak glided down from a higher cave and landed beside them. The young dragon had grown even more in just these few days, as if being in his natural home accelerated his development. Good morning, friends, Hak chirped. Great Elder calls meeting soon. Important day. We're ready, Taewon assured him, though his stomach felt tight with nervousness. They followed Hak to the central meeting area, a large, flat space surrounded by tall stones. Many dragons were already gathered there, their scales shimmering in various colors under the morning sun. Do-hyun and the other humans joined them, carrying tablets to record this historic event. The Great Elder Sungmin flew down from the highest peak, landing with grace despite his enormous size. All fell silent as he surveyed the gathering. 3 days we have shared knowledge, Sungmin began. Humans have shown respect and wisdom. Now we must decide how our kinds will live together on this world. Ji-young stepped forward. We propose a formal agreement. Humans will stay within our current territory. We will not expand without consultation. In return, we ask for permission to study this planet's life forms and to trade knowledge with your people. Sungmin considered this. What of future humans? More will come from stars. Will they honor this agreement? This was the hardest question. Ji-young answered honestly, we will inform Earth of our treaty. We will request that all future settlements respect dragon territories, but I cannot promise what people who are not yet here will do. A murmur of concern passed through the dragon gathering. One dragon with rust-colored scales spoke up. Humans have history of breaking promises to other beings. Why trust now? Taewon understood their worry. Human history contained many dark chapters of broken treaties and conquered peoples. You're right to be concerned, he said. Humans have made terrible mistakes, but we can learn from our past. That's why we're here now, talking before problems arise. Hak moved to Taewon's side, showing his support. This human healed me when I was hurt. Did not know what I was. Still helped? Some humans good, some not, argued another dragon. How know which come next? The debate continued for hours. Dragons expressed fears about human technology, weapons, and growing numbers. Humans tried to explain their need for resources while promising restraint. As the sun reached its highest point, Sungmin raised his wings for silence. I have listened. Both sides speak truth. Need solution that protects all. The Great Elder turned to a female dragon with silver blue scales. Nari, you have traveled farthest of our kind. What say you? Nari stepped forward. Taewon recognized her as Hak's mother. I have watched humans since they first came. They build, they change land. But they also heal, learn, create. My child lives because of human kindness. I believe we can find way forward together. She looked directly at Taewon. But trust must be earned, not given. What do you suggest? Ji-young asked. Exchange, Nari chirped. Dragons live among humans. Humans live among dragons. Learn each other's ways. Build trust slowly. This was unexpected. Taewon looked at Ji-young, who seemed equally surprised. You would allow dragons to live in our colony? Ji-young asked. And humans in our mountains, Sungmin added. Not many. Few chosen ones. They teach, learn, watch, report to both peoples. Do-hyun leaned toward Taewon and whispered, They're proposing ambassadors. Taewon nodded. It was a wise solution, a way to build understanding while keeping watch on each other. We would be honored to host dragon ambassadors, Ji-young said, and to send humans to live here if you'll have them. Who would come to mountains? Asked Sungmin. Ji-young looked at her team. We would need volunteers who respect dragon ways and can learn from your people. Without hesitation, Taewon stepped forward. I would go. Do-hyun joined him. Me too. Sungmin studied them both. The healer and the plant knower. Good choices. You have helped Hak, shown respect. I stay with Taewon. Hak chirped excitedly. Be his guide. Nari made a gentle sound. No, young one. You must complete your growth here. Learn dragon ways, but you may visit often. Hak's wings drooped, but he nodded in understanding. I will go to human place, Nari offered. Show humans dragon healing ways. Another dragon, younger but still fully grown, stepped forward. I also go. Learn human stories, share dragon stories. Sungmin nodded approval. So it begins. Exchange of wisdom. With this foundation, they began to draft the actual treaty. Ji-young and Sungmin worked together, finding words that both species could agree on. They mapped territories, set rules for contact, and created systems for resolving future problems. By sunset, the first treaty between humans and dragons was complete. It wasn't perfect, many details would need to be worked out over time, but it was a beginning. As stars appeared above the mountains, dragons lit great fires to celebrate. Humans and dragons gathered around the flames, sharing food and stories. Taewon found himself sitting between Hak and Nari, feeling strangely at home. I never imagined this when I found you injured, he told Hak. You've changed everything. Not me, Hak chirped. You helped when not had to. Showed dragons humans can be kind. Nari made a soft sound of agreement. Small actions change worlds. One kindness leads to peace. Across the fire, Do-hyun was deep in conversation with a dragon interested in earth plants. Ji-young and Sungmin sat side by side, still discussing details of their agreement. Tomorrow we return to the colony, Taewon said. There's much to prepare for your visit, Nari. Yes, much to learn about human healing. And I'll need to pack for my stay here in the mountains, Taewon added. I hope I can be useful. You will teach, learn, build bridge between our kinds, Nari assured him. Later that night, unable to sleep, Taewon walked outside his cave. The mountain air was cold but refreshing. He looked up at stars that once seemed so alien but now felt like home. A soft sound made him turn. Hak stood nearby watching him. Can't sleep either, Taewon asked, thinking too much, Hak admitted. Everything changing. Change can be good, Taewon said. But it's also scary. Will humans and dragons stay friends? Taewon considered the question seriously. I hope so. It won't always be easy. There will be misunderstandings, maybe even conflicts. But if we remember days like today, if we keep talking and listening, I think we can. Hak moved closer, leaning against Taewon's side like he used to do when he was smaller. Remember first day? When I found you? Of course, Taewon smiled. You were so small and scared. Not scared. Knew you help, saw you help others. You were watching me before you came into the medical tent? Yes, many days. Saw you work when tired. Help everyone. Knew you helped me too. Taewon felt a lump in his throat. I'm glad you trusted me. Trust important, like bridge. Humans and dragons need strong bridge. We'll build it together, Taewon promised. The next morning, as they prepared to leave, the great elder Sungmin presented Ji-young with a gift, a beautiful crystal that glowed with inner light. Dragon Heartstone, he explained. Very rare, symbol of trust. Place in your colony as reminder of our agreement. Ji-young accepted it with deep respect. We will treasure it always. In return, she gave Sungmin a small device. This contains our complete medical database. All human knowledge of healing freely shared with your people. The exchange of gifts completed their agreement. As the humans prepared to depart, many dragons gathered to see them off. Hak stood with his family looking both sad and proud. Taewon knelt before the young dragon who had changed everything. I'll see you soon. When I return to stay, I visit Colony too. Bring mountain stories. I'll look forward to it. As they began their journey down the mountain, Taewon looked back one last time. Dozens of dragons filled the sky above the settlement, their scales catching the morning light in a dazzling display. Do-hyun stood beside him, equally moved by the sight. To think this all started because a small injured dragon trusted a tired human doctor. Small beginnings can lead to great things, Taewon said. Ahead lay the human colony. Behind the dragon mountains and between them a new path, one that two very different species would walk together.